we going to get it? Now, when we go to line 23 and 24, you see the resource allocation matrix, which is literally the same thing from the project schedule. This is how the resources are allocated. This is what they're doing. So you see that a lot of the documentation, they intersect with each other. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to make this over again multiple times. Link it to where you got it from. Then we have resource management. I call this section resource management because it's the management of these different elements. When it comes to resource management, the processes. So here is the breakdown of like, okay, so we're gonna do resource allocation and scheduling through project management software. We're gonna track the resources and their time through timesheets and regular status updates. We're gonna handle the resource conflicts and over allocation through task rescheduling and acquiring additional resources. We're gonna evaluate resource performance through regular feedback and project milestones. So this is the process in which we're going to manage the resources. Now, as we're doing that, their roles and responsibilities will be identified as you see them here. So for the project manager, your overall responsibility is resource planning, acquisition, allocation, and management. For the team lead, so the designers, the developers, you're responsible for managing the resources within their respective areas. So this portion is very essential as a project manager and when it comes to resource management. There is a position known as a functional manager in project management. So the functional manager is the person that leads a department within the organization. So I'll give you an example. In one of my contracts, I've worked as a marketing project manager. In those marketing projects, we have creatives. The creatives are the writers and the designers for that project. However, I am not their manager. They have a functional manager, meaning they are part of a creative department with other writers and designers that are managed by a functional manager. So as a project manager, it is my duty to reach out to that functional manager and said, hey, I have this type of project. Can you help me figure out which resources you're going to allocate to the project? Now, if the resource isn't doing their job properly, then I take that up with the functional manager and say, hey, you allocated this resource, they're not doing their job, or they're saying they don't have time. What can we do here? Because their performance isn't judged by me. It is judged by their functional manager. This is why it says that the team leads or the functional managers are responsible for managing resources within their respective areas. So a functional manager is not responsible for everyone on my project. They're responsible for the people in their department that's working on my project. And then we have the team members responsible for reporting time and resource utilization accurately.